Hello everyone and welcome to a Past-Cast. Guess we haven't seen one of those in a while, but since I've done so many coherent best of threes as part of the EnTe Extreme Masters, I think once in a while it's nice to just basically goof off and cast totally out of context single game, which hopefully is still going to be worth watching just for the content of the replay itself. And for a change, we're not going to celebrate the past. Well, we kinda are, but we're also going to celebrate the present by casting a game between, or in you guys' case, watching a game between two players who are still actively playing these days. And of course, the replay has been played in the past. So it's been about 5 years since this one has been played. And this was played in September of 2010. And let's start with the orc player in this replay, HLA, the German, who actually was undead as his main race, but who was very capable with all the races. Of course, with undead, with orc as well. I think I've casted an EPS replay between him and Sokol already. Something between Past-Cast, I think 30 and 50 maybe. And of course with Night Elf, he's also very capable, playing it plenty of times around the time the last Sute Cups took place, also beating Yumiko in a best of 3 with Night Elf once. And I remember seeing him as human playing against Fire DE live on Giga back in the day, a German TV channel that used to broadcast Warcraft 3 weekly. And in this game he's going to go for Orc, and his opponent is EnTe, not the Austrian Night Elf player, not the German human player who used to play for SK06, the SK talent squad. It's the undead player who we all know from these days. Basically, we can watch him almost every week in the Gara Cup, etc. Back in the day, he was a player who was really known for not really caring about the one-on-one competitions, but only the team competitions, and therefore he never played in the EPS, even though he probably would have been able to. He played most famously for GAB, but also for AL and Faculty, NWO, IES, and most recently ONU. And he's still active at the moment, as already mentioned. And in the past, he's been inactive several times, though way too many times to basically, just list them all right now. But I think one anecdote, by the way, Farseer first here for HLA. One anecdote worth mentioning is in 2010, EnTe announced his inactivity, like he did several other times, but only 4 days later, he basically announced that he wasn't inactive and joined Faculty. And the day he announced that was April 1st, and everyone was like, haha, April's fools, very obvious. You're not gonna fool us. But actually it wasn't. He just changed his mind 4 days later, basically. And kind of surprised the entire scene by doing so. So it is Farseer first for HLA. He still to this day prefers to play Farseer TC against Undead, if he plays Orc against Undead. And he's already gotten the first experience, Mantle of Intelligence for him. And he's going to continue creeping here, so he's going to get the level 2 with his Grunt and the Wolves, while doing some harassment in the meantime. But he's taking a ton of damage here already against the first coil of EnTe's Death Knight. And therefore harassing here isn't gonna be super easy. Spawning new wolves here, actually not quite level 2 yet. But it looks like he's gonna finish off the tiny little green camp here with his wolves. By the way, Mantle of Intelligence dropped here. Farseer heading towards the right hand side where EnTe is going to continue creeping. Of course, EnTe is gonna wanna have the level 2 as quickly as possible. 1 Spirit Tower here for him. 23 supply tech, is it? Okay, no, it's going to be 26 supply tech, so very late tech. It's going to come in here for EnTe, and HLA gets the last hit on the Ogre Warrior here. Pretty nicely done. EnTe really wants to have the level 2 here as quickly as possible to be able to just work with the aura, with the speed, with the regeneration, because the Fiends without the aura, of course, very clumsy and slow. HLA started his tech already. He's about halfway through. EnTe looks like, looking at his lumber, he started his tech as well. It looks like the last hit here went to the Farseer as well as the Ring of Protection. One grunt has taken a bit of damage, but the undead without the aura cannot really chase anything down yet. Another charge of the Rod of Necromancy used, so using the entire rod, and he didn't even get level 2 out of this, so pretty decent early game here by HLA. At least there hasn't been any harassment against the Acolytes yet. And finally level 2 on the Farseer, on the Death Knight as well. Tech has started, Chain Lightning has come in, and Surround onto the Farseer. He's gonna have to Town Portal immediately, the only choice HLA basically has at this point. And looking at the Death Knight's XP, I think the Chain Lightning finished the second Forest Troll up here, because otherwise he'd be further or closer to level 3 already. Tier 2 is going to finish soon. Third Burrow is finished, nothing spectacular going on inside HLA space at the moment, and it looks like the undead is going to continue creeping here immediately. He's not quite gonna get level 3 out of this, but he's not gonna be able to finish it anyway, at least for now, as the Farseer is coming in. One more Ogre Warrior. Nicely done with the skeleton here, switching the focus fire to the low HP Ogre Warrior, just to finish that one off. Another Fiend taking a bit of damage. There's still plenty of mana on the Death Knight though, and Surround on the ground, very nicely done against the Forest here by EnTe, so he's gonna get the kill on that one. Second run, is he also gonna get the Surround? It doesn't look like he's going to, and HLA is just continuing to keep the Death Knight low, which is, you know, fair enough, but you know, it's only slowing HLA down. It's not going to, he's not going to lose the Death Knight here with the aura against the Farseer. Let's just take a quick look at the base. TC second, Wormel and Beastry coming, so no Lodge, at least for now. No, he's got the resources. He'd build a Lodge if he wanted to. Looks like the last hit is gonna go to the Death Knight here, but he's using the coil to do so, and therefore maybe a Chain Lightning can finish off this Fiend. That's exactly what HLA is doing. He's getting the last hit. He's not getting surrounded here. Very important, of course, since he doesn't have a Town Portal anymore, and the Town Portal at the shop is not yet available. One of the grunts would secure level 3 for the Death Knight, but he's not chasing it down. Level 3 would, of course, be very, very important. The grunt here, oh, isn't being microed. He's getting the last hit, but he's getting... he's not getting away. The creeps are getting the kill on that one. TC is out right now. We're not seeing a second Beastry, so it's not going to be Wind Riders, at least not for now. Fiends have to pull back. There is still mana for one more coil, of course. He'd love to have the level 3 before using that one, and therefore he's pulling back the Ghoul here. Yeah, looks like that was the third Lumber Ghoul, and he just didn't change the rally point while building it. So alright, tier 2 finished, as mentioned already, only a Beastry and a Wormel, so we're gonna see Headhunters, Raiders, Grunts, and of course a Kodo or 2 eventually. The ward here belongs to EnTe, who is seeing his opponent finishing this creep camp right now. He's not gonna be able to do anything about it, but then again, it's only a Forest Troll Trapper, so who cares? It's not even the Tome Troll. Lich is out, still tier 2 for EnTe, so let's just see, he's not getting a slaughterhouse, so he's gonna go for tier 3 as quickly as possible. Pulling the turtles here. I think HLA is not quite ready to fight yet. Yeah, Ensnare is finished, only one raider out, so he's creeping on his own, which is... or isn't he? Oh, it looks like he isn't. The main creep has already gone down though. Death Knight is level 3 in the meantime, and he's never gonna run out of mana in that fight, so I don't really think this is the greatest choice by HLA, but he's gonna try to go in there. Nevertheless, TC's coming in. Is he gonna get the Stomp? Everything is pulling back here. TC is still slowed. Stomp hits one of the Fiends. Is he getting this around? There's the question here. It looks like he's not even gonna try and do so. The Wolves are going on to one of the Fiends in the back, but that one should be pulled back, so he can't coil the Fiend on the back. He's coiling that one, pulling the Fiend on the top back. Frost Armor is going onto the Fiend on the bottom here, and therefore HLA isn't going to get a single clear surround attempt onto the TC, but he's pulling back in time. Speed Core used, and HLA didn't get anything out of this fight. The Grunt here is going to be in some trouble, but I think, no, he's going to survive, as EnTe doesn't want to chase basically one Grunt around the entire map, especially since there are 2 raiders out right now. So slowly, is he getting the Kodo right now? Yeah, he's getting the Kodo. I think once that one is out, he'd be ready to fight. So I think he maybe should have just grabbed here in the first place instead of trying to go for the creep check. Death Knight is now coming in and he's not going to give this hurdle to the Orc, but maybe he's going to be surrounded instead. Stomp would be available, but actually he's getting this around without the Stomp, so the Town Portal is going to have to come early because the Stomp can prevent him from doing so, but Stomp coming way early from HLA and he's losing his TC here, but in return getting the Town Portal. Is he getting a Fiend Eaten? He is not. TC is going down, Town Portal forced in return though, and keep in mind the TC was only level 1, so he's going to be back in just a couple seconds. And in return, a Peon here. Okay, so he's going for the very early tier 2 expansion. So that makes sense somewhat. TC has gone down as mentioned, and basically with this strategy, I think we never see this these days. With this strategy, it's not been that uncommon, but even in 2010, this was already kind of dated. You invest into tier 2, you stay on tier 2. Oh, Helm of Valor here. You stay on tier 2, you get only the two buildings, basically, the barracks and the B3. No second tier 2 building, no tier 3 tech. You just crank out as many units as possible to basically hold this expansion. And yeah, the whole point is to just outmass the opponent, basically. Which might come in handy for HLA, as EnTe has gone for the tier 2 tech very, very late, and therefore his destroyer upgrade is not yet finished. He's not gonna have, or his orb is going to be rather late, and we'll see if his push is still going to be in time, because of course he's gonna have Tri-Hero against only 2, he's gonna have destroyers and tier 3 against tier 2 orc. So therefore he's gonna have the tech advantage, but looking at the supply, yeah, it's 42 against 55. He's getting his 3rd charge of Rod already. He's got a new Town Portal, he's got the orb, so he invested a lot, and therefore he's obviously going to be down in supply by a lot. It's gonna be level 3. I think Fast here should also be level 3. Without the Town Portal though. Wind of Mana Stealing and Greater Mana Potion for the Orc here, but he needs to have some sort of, you know, nuke protection against the undead heroes, because they are level 3 and 3 as well. One Headhunter gets picked off on the way, and EnTe, did he see this? Yeah, the skeleton is here, so he probably saw this. And is he still going to be in time here to cancel it? It looks like he's probably going to. 3rd hero is the Dark Ranger, which of course is going to be used to silence, especially the TC, to stop him from nuking. The Farsi has already taken a ton of damage. Heal score has to be used. He's pulling back, but he's gonna have to stay in the back for this entire fight. Destroyer has been morphed. Frost Armor going onto the Death Knight. Fiend, Kodo is trying to eat a Fiend, but nicely dodged here. Second Kodo is more successful. First of them is already going down. Stomp kills one of the Fiends here, even though it was burrowed. No dust for the Orc player. Second Kodo also going down, so some damage lag right now for the Orc player compared to when he had the Kodo. Dark Ranger has to go back as the Destroyer has to be coiled over and over again. Stomp hitting decently, and Fiend after Fiend is going down here. Of course, HLA has also lost plenty of stuff, but it's looking still okay for him. Next Stomp is coming in onto the Death Knight. Dark Ranger gets coiled finally, and it looks like he's going to be able to force the Town Portal here, which is all that he needed, since he's got the expansion at the moment. And as I mentioned, the entire strategy, I'm assuming he's still tier 2. Yeah, he's still tier 2. The entire strategy is based on outmassing the opponent. So HLA holding here, Farseer very carefully microed, always in the back. The peons are being pulled right now. The expansion is going to start running, and he's going to have to crank out as many units as he possibly can. 43 supply against 41. So EnTe definitely killed a lot of stuff here. Level 4, 3, almost 2 Dark Ranger. And let's see what EnTe's course of action is going to be here. Of course, the weakness of the strategy is that, you know, in late game, the TC is just fine. The Farseer is very easy to nuke. And the unit composition, even though it's a lot of units, isn't as strong as it could be, of course. So EnTe, you know, if this was like tier 3 Orc with BM and Orb and stuff, then he wouldn't have any time, basically. But with this, he can also try and go into a longer game. or of course go all in. It's up to him. Heal potion and mana potion bought on the Death Knight. Okay, and he's getting another Rod of Necromancy, heading out without a town portal, bringing his ghouls. This is basically the all-in. The main still has 4,000 gold inside of it. Another Fiend is coming. He's at 50 supply, and... yeah, okay, he sold the Helm of Valor, so HLA probably didn't know until just now that the red camp here had already been crept. Then again, with the wolf, he's seeing what's up right now, seeing EnTe coming in. He may have, I was in EnTe's perspective, so I don't know about, he may have clicked the Death Knight, seeing that there is no town portal. So this is basically, yeah, the push he's got to hold. But then again, this position, like, does he move? I think he's just gonna lose the expansion here. Like, if he moves through this small gap, he's just gonna lose. Okay, he's actually trying to do so. Stomp is coming in, but he's pulling back. Silence on the TC too late, as the Stomp has already coming in. And he's TPing forward, so yeah, he cannot squeeze through. He is trying to reposition right now. Going into the front, Farseer immediately gets coiled, and there's nothing on him. He's got a heal scroll, but that's all he's got. And he's getting coiled down immediately. Bad Rider's coming in, and the TC alone basically is gonna have to try and hold this pretty decent split here by EnTe. Stomp hitting the Death Knight, as well as one Fiend. Nova going onto the TC, coil not hitting him, as Inmode Potion has been used, but the coil is still available right now. So it wasn't in the air while the TC was using the Inmode Potion. At least a little bit out of mana, which is pretty great for HLA, as at least he can try and make something happen with his TC, trying to poke forward. At the same time, Fiends are permanently ensnared. TC is gonna have to be so careful. Stomp is coming in, and is it gonna be enough to get the Fiend killed? No, it isn't, as the damage output is so low. He's pulling back right now. Farseer is being revived. It's not gonna do a lot, but he's gonna provide the speed scroll, because it looks like HLA is having a hard time dealing with those heroes and at the same time, Headhunters not being microed properly. Now he definitely clicked the Death Knight and saw that there is no town portal, but EnTe is returning the favor, giving one Destroyer for free to HLA. Yeah, coil is coming in, but with that many units providing piercing damage against the Destroyer's light armor, there's no way in hell that one's gonna survive. Therefore, one Destroyer down in return. 2 Headhunters, as we've seen previously. There's still another speed scroll on the Farseer. TC already on his way to level 5, which would be quite great. Death Knight doing some blocking against the Kodo here, but the Raider makes sure that that's not happening anymore. I guess Town Portal probably. He's getting a speed scroll and an Inmode Potion. Is he gonna try and continue fighting here? Coil kills the Kodo, but the Fiend is going down. Nevertheless, level 4 for the Farseer. And yeah, 2 heal scrolls for the Orc, and he's gonna continue fighting here. Of course, 49 supply against way less by his opponent, which is only 32 right now, as another Fiend has gone down. The Farseer is going to have to pull out of this fight though. Stomp coming in by the TC again, preventing the Death Knight from coiling, but he's out of mana anyway. Now the TC is going to have to be careful though. The Kodo is trying to get into position. No Stomp here, very nicely timed silence, and the TC is actually going to die here. And yeah, pretty big deal here, as without Stomp it's going to be even harder for HLA to deal with those heroes. There is a coil available right now. He's not using it to coil a Fiend though. So maybe he sees more value in, I don't know, saving one of his heroes potentially, or killing one of HLA's heroes, which would be the Farseer, who now bought the Town Portal. Okay, now HLA is leaving this fight. I mean, he's killed, I think, what, 2-3 more Fiends, but losing his TC is gonna give EnTe a little bit more momentum. The main still has 1,900 gold in it. Level 3 on the Dark Ranger. Problem for EnTe is that he doesn't have a statue anymore, and his heroes are pretty low on mana. Okay, the Lich can kind of counter that by using Dark Ritual onto the skeletons. The Death Knight cannot really though, and he's got himself a Town Portal right now. HLA coming in again, clicking the TC, clicking the Death Knight, seeing that there is the Town Portal. Farseer immediately has to pull back again. Heal Potion used by him. The wolves are being spawned. I'm guessing Dispel is gonna come in really quickly here. And again, he's going for the Destroyer here. Death Knight has to pull back as well. Using the Heal Potion, Destroyer can be coiled once here, but EnTe is not doing so. HLA using the speed scroll right now again to get out with his Farseer, as I mentioned, the coil was still available, but the sheer number of units might still be enough to push EnTe away, at least for now. He's repositioning, going for one of the wolves. Death Knight already close to level 5 as well, which is gonna be huge, both for healing everything up to basically full HP, and of course to nuke, especially the Farseer, who is so weak with only 675 max HP at the moment. And okay, finally he's using the coil. He's got another one available thanks to the 2 statues that have joined the army in the meantime, and he's gonna get the kill on one more Colo, which is securing him the level 5, which is of course hugely important. Death Knight has to pull back. There is still mana on the Farseer for Chain Lightning, but he's not in range, and I think it wouldn't have been enough to get the Death Knight killed yet. He's still hanging around the rest of his army. Of course, the aura is quite great, and another Grunt is getting picked off here. Pretty great use of the triple hero combination by EnTe in this game. HLA is pulling back. Of course, expansion is still running 2 raid. No, okay, he's still on only 1 beast tree, so I guess one of the raiders kind of wasn't with the army for whatever reason. Fiend gets ensnared again. Farseer is coming back in, and the TC is back as well, and he needs like 1 kill to get level 5, and EnTe does not want that to happen, but the Fiend is probably gonna fall, as it looks like, in the air. That's a level 5 for the TC. Death Knight now has to be careful. There is an immo potion on him. He's using it just before the storm comes in, and therefore it's only hitting one of the Fiends. Abomination has joined the army as well. Cole Nova goes onto the Farseer, and he's got nothing, and therefore again HLA is down to only 1 hero. But the coil is on cooldown, and therefore the Abomination is going to fall. Stomp hitting very nicely. And is he going to be able to force the town portal of this Death Knight? Yes, he is. Another Raider is going to fall, but another Fiend is going to fall as well. HLA once again able to push EnTe away, but once again at a pretty high cost. Farseer is down, not being revived yet. Okay, he's getting him at the tavern. He's definitely going to have to head back to his shop to get clarities and heal potions. At the same time, another rod bought here by EnTe, so he's getting so many skeletons over and over again. Of course, with the statues, he's going to be able to replenish both his HP and his mana rather quickly, but his unit count is just so low. 40 supply against 54 again. HLA, yeah, spreading stuff all across the map. He just wants to make sure not to die to an unscouted counter expansion. The Bat Riders here above the forest doing some pretty nice scouting for HLA, so he knows exactly what's coming. Mana on the TC, well, somewhat, but he's got a mana potion, so plenty of stomps available. First Raider is being attacked immediately. Coil Nova going onto the TC, who's, yeah, somewhat tanky at the moment, down to about half his HP. As I mentioned, he still has the heal potion, and they're trying to do some kiting. First of the 2 Raiders is going down. Of course, killing them is pretty important, as it limits HLA's micro opportunities by a lot if there's no ensnare available. And it looks like the mains have run out, so the Acolytes joining the fight here. Bat Riders coming in, but there are no destroyers in the air at the moment. Abomination is getting coiled. Stomp going onto the Acolytes, which doesn't really do a lot, but they provide a really nice blocking line here. And the Orc player's damage output is really dwindling. The Lich is kind of low, but there's no problem for EnTe, since he can coil him. There's a heal potion and a mana potion on the Death Knight, who again didn't rebuy a town portal. So keep that in mind. Level 5 on the Lich right now. Nova goes onto the TC immediately. Speed Scroll used. He used his heal potion already. He passed another heal scroll from the Farseer onto the TC. So he can take a little bit more damage. And is the Grunt gonna fall here as well? EnTe is doing such a great job. 48 supply again for HLA. Only 30 for EnTe. But his heroes, 5 Death Knight, 5 Lich, and 4 Dark Ranger, so strong against only level 4 and 5 on the Orc heroes. Of course, the Farseer very close to level 5 himself. Peons are running away here, but EnTe is not wasting any time. He wants to get the Peon line down, and it looks like he's going to be successful in doing so. But he's down to so few units. He's got nothing left in his main. He's getting another statue, which is super important because he doesn't have any other statue remaining. And undead heroes without mana, we all know it, they're not really gonna do too much here. And the position once again is so nice for EnTe. He's able to block everything with the skeletons. The TC again has taken tons of damage. Another heal potion has been bought and already used. TC heading back here. The silence lasting pretty long as well. TC, he cannot even come in to get a single stomp, but surround on the Death Knight, while the surround on the Farseer fails. Chain Lightning going onto him. Coil on the Raider. He's trying to get out of there. Stomp hits the Death Knight though, and he's getting the kill on that one. At the same time, Nova kills the TC, so both of the players losing one of their heroes, probably both of the players losing their most important hero at this stage of the game. But I think it's the biggest setback for EnTe, as of course he's the one under pressure. He's the one who's gotta take the economy of his opponent down, and without his Death Knight it's going to be very, very hard to do so. But at the same time, there are only 3 units remaining on the field right now for HLA, together with the Farseer. Of course, another Fiend has gone down, another Raider, the last Raider once again has gone down, so no more Ensnare, at least for now, for the Octay, and the statue is gonna have to work miracles here. But it is being picked off at the same time. The Farseer is taking another Nova. And is he gonna get away? Of course, both of the players are missing their speed aura right now, but it is enough for the Farseer to get away, to get towards the shop. The TC is being revived. And the Kodo, which has eaten the Abomination, of course, basically the most tanky unit, the most valuable to eat for the Kodo. And he sold his Altar. Okay, so he cannot reproduce his Death Knight at the moment, and he's down to EnTe, of course that is. He's down to 139 gold, so that is never enough to get his Death Knight back at the tavern, so he's gonna have to make do with only these 2 heroes. Or is he sending the Acolytes back to sell stuff, which would be probably the best course of action for him here. Lich getting close to level 6 already. Farseer, of course, has surpassed level 5 in the meantime, as the TC has been down for quite a while. HLA trying to block with his invisible wolf right now. And is the Farseer gonna get in range? That is the question. Wow, the Dark Ranger is trying to stop the wolf from blocking, and he successfully manages to get his Lich into safety. At least it looks like that, but at the same time the wolf is now blocking the Dark Ranger. The Farseer is coming in. Silence is being cast on him. There's 1 Raider and 1 Headhunter with the army right now. It looks like HLA does not want the TC to come back. Of course, he's got no more gold income, basically. He's down to 80 gold and he's got 1 PN remaining on the map. So don't think that he's got reinforcements or anything. The TC is being rebuilt though, and he's gonna go for the Lich right now, as it seems. No, he's going for the Fiend first, which is not being burrowed here. The Fiend is going down, Chain Lightning going onto the Lich, and it looks like he's gonna die here. 8 HP, but the level up gets him up to level 6. And now all of a sudden it is the Farseer who might run into trouble, as he's being slowed over and over again by the Undead's main. And the Lich is down to 50 HP as well, but it looks like the Farseer is probably going to be the one to fall, and the Lich is surviving here. The Wolf still has plenty of time to basically work against the Lich. Critical Strike takes the Lich down to under 100 HP. TC is coming in, but he only had 1 Stomp available. The Kodo's going down. So now the Lich is gonna have to try and outrun this. The Wolf again getting 1 more hit in. Critical Strike, and is he gonna get the kill? Yes, he is. HLA is able to kill EnTe's second hero here, and I think theoretically EnTe could have saved the Lich by slowing down the Wolf here with his Nerubian Tower, if he had manually microed that one, but he didn't do so. He's trying to get away from the TC here with his Dark Ranger, but the range of level 3 Stomp is quite ridiculous, and now the TC, who reached level 6 thanks to the Lich kill, is on the hunt for this Dark Ranger. In the meantime, slowly the economy is being rebuilt here. The TC isn't really getting in range of the Dark Ranger. He doesn't have to go to reproduce the Farseer yet, and the TC is being driven out here. He's gonna be the one to die first, and he's never going to be able to get a single hit out on this Dark Ranger with the Nerubian Tower and the Undead main there. So Dark Ranger is safe for now. EnTe is down to 6 supply. He can sell everything here. He can even sell the shop if he wants to, but then again, do you really want to sell the shop? He doesn't. He's heading towards the middle with his Acolyte, so is it gonna be enough to get a hero? The Death Knight was level 5. Yeah, Death Knight was level 5, Lich was level 6. And he's seeing with the Skeleton that there's income again. He's seeing that he's running out of time here. TC's getting another heal salve, 415 for a level 5 hero. I think that's not enough. He's saying if only the Lich was still alive. But it isn't, and it isn't enough gold as it appears. And there's the GG by EnTe in a very action-packed match between him and his German undead companion, usually undead, HLA, who in this game made a pretty old-fashioned strategy work. I think these days, since every undead is taking with 23, sometimes even 20 supply, and therefore they get the orb, they get the destroyers, the 30, they get everything way earlier. This strategy isn't really feasible anymore, since there is simply not enough time to crank out enough of a supply advantage, enough of a huge enough army basically to hold this very early tier 2 expansion. But in this case, it worked out. Of course, it made for an extremely action-packed game, since basically after, I don't know, 12-ish minutes, EnTe was kind of going all in when he pulled all of the ghouls, and basically from then on, like 15 minutes of pure action, basically without any breaks. Not a lot of creeping, and in the end, in a very close game, the orc player is triumphant. So I hope you enjoyed this one. If you did so, then like and comment and subscribe. And I've recently also gotten a Facebook page after it was requested by the user called Moon Team, I think. So shout out to him. And I'm gonna try and keep that one kind of active. Of course, I post new videos. So if you wanna get basically notified on Facebook, then you can join there. I guess I'll have some polls there as well concerning about future Past-Casts, for example. And of course, we can have some conversation, discuss Warcraft, discuss old school Warcraft. You can ask whatever you want, basically, or just off-topic stuff. And if you want to check that out, it's facebook.com/ITrainHum. I guess shouldn't be too hard to find that. And I hope I'll see you there, and I hope I'll see you for future videos. And that's all I have to say. And bye.